Started. All right, welcome
Welcome
again
back,
to IBC
everybody.
2025.
Welcome,
It is
welcome,
our
welcome.
pleasure to have you right here with us.
Absolutely.
We're excited. Thank you for joining us again. Please let us know where you're joining us from. This is International Boys Conference 2025, and the theme is reformation.
Information.
Let's not forget that that's the theme of this program. And today is the World Day of the Boy Child. Let's give it up for the boys.
Amazing. What
Hooray!
celebrating today is May 16.
Yes. Congratulations to the
Amazing.
celebrants. The celebrants are the boys. A very big congratulations to you for
Absolutely.
seeing today. We're proud of you. We know that you will make a difference. Okay, it's parents that are here. Please help us tell that to your sons. Right? All right. This is the first session for the second day of the International Boys
Absolutely.
Conference. And this session is dedicated to every parent of boys, every parent of girls. It's okay to be here.
It's
Are you a
okay.
teacher? You have a boy in your class. You need to be here.
Absolutely.
Are you a nurse? You attend to a boy in the hospital.
Absolutely.
You need to be here.
here.
Are you a politician? You have the boys to take over from you. You need to be here. Are you a pastor? You have a boy in your sphere of influence. You need to be here. Everybody, this is for you. We're about to delve into the world of the boys. What do you need to know about raising a correct boy in the 21st century? And we're excited.
Super
We're
excited.
excited.
Today I was just excited on how the media has just been,
In fact,
bustling with the boy child, all right? Videos, pictures, outreaches, conferences. I've seen up to 10 conferences today just in Nigeria with thousands of boys gathered. And when I went to one of the schools, they said, some people also came. I said, beautiful.
that's so
That's to
good.
show that the work is growing and we are becoming. So please share this link with every parent you know anywhere. Tell them we have started. Every parent you know everywhere around the world, please share this link with everybody and let them know we are right here at International Boys Conference at the parent session, and we are all ready to kick off today, and it's going to be a life transforming experience. So welcome everybody. I know we have impact stories to take, and then before we kick off and hear the profile of our speaker, Coach Wendy Ologe, who is going to be speaking to us about raising boys. Raising the boy you don't need to bail out. A reformed boy is a boy that is responsible, that is aligning to his authority as a king. And we're going to be learning on how to navigate to this part. All right. We're going to take this impact story, and then we will have our speaker's profile. Thank you very much. Let's take the impact story.
Hello everyone, my name is Prince Israel Otache Achebulu. This journey has started a very long time ago, since 2018. Before I met Coach Ebuka, my life used to be very rough. I had no peace, I was confused, and a lot of conflicts were going on in my life. Back then, 2018, in Living Faith Church, Durumi, we were in for a Wednesday communion service at the youth church. So I excused myself out. I went and smoked some cigarette, and when I returned back, Coach Ebuka approached me, and he spoke a lot of things with me and made me understood a lot. So from that time, this journey has really come a long way. He made me to discover and also to know the mantle God has given me, the work God has given me to do, the male seats from my family, because I come from a royal home. I solemnly depend on me to be broken from a pattern. Glory be to God. I could at a point be able to open up with the kind of person he is, with the kind of love, the affection he showed, despite the fact that we went astray at a point. Even when I was in school, I was a drug addict, I was a smoker, I was hard drugs addict. I was also a fornicator. At a point, the center of my life had no meaning. I kept companies which I was not supposed to keep. I was also involved in the confraternity, the Save the Boys initiative. This is an initiative of transformation. Despite my back and front, at a point I wasn't supposed to graduate from school, but glory be to God. I could digress a little into my testimony, to make the whole of these things better. This is a story I want to give to have an impact on the life of the younger ones coming up, which is very important. I want you to really know that there is nothing God cannot do. And when you learn to open up to the right people, God helped me. I had a mentor whom I could confirm in, I could open up to, I could say a lot of things to. He always.
All righty. Are we there now? Thank you so much. So we'll take the second impact story, and then before we have Coach Wendy come up. Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Miracle Chico. Growing up, I had a lot of issues as a young boy. I had serious relationship issues with my father, which affected my relationship with my siblings. And this led me into seeking for comfort outside my house. So I would always go out of the house and move around with friends because I didn't want to face that war zone I called a house. I started following bad friends at a very young age, and it led into different vices. My reformation story started in 2019. At that stage of my life, I was suicidal. I wanted to end it all because I felt life had no meaning, because nothing was working. I was stagnant and life just did not have any meaning. I was contemplating suicide. Two of my friends found out about these decisions, and a friend asked me to go to Facebook and search for the name Ebuka Ede Obika and send him a DM, which I did, and we started talking online. And for the first time in my life, I felt loved, I felt accepted with all my baggages, with all my bad characters and all my issues. So for the first time, he invited me to his house for a meeting, a gathering of his mentees. I came into the place and I was inspired. I saw a community of boys who had issues, who had struggles, but yet in that struggle, they were in a fight, in a journey to become better. And I was inspired not to give up. And I kept on that journey. I kept pushing, and I kept pushing. Save the Boys initiative has shaped my life and my personality. I am no longer the person I used to be. I am now a better version of myself. People who knew me back then see me today and they are shocked at the level of growth, improvement, and value I have added to myself. And all this were through Save the Boys initiative. Save the Boys initiative is a community where boys are taught responsibility, leadership, through a system of accountability. It's a place for any boy who wants to become a productive man. Now I am in 200 level studying psychology in Nassau State University. By the grace of God, I am a first-class student, and it is because of the values that I have learned and the lessons I have learned from Save the Boys initiative. So I urge every boy out there listening. Your case might be more deeper or more stronger, or you might have experienced more hurt than I have. But if Save the Boys initiative was able to do it for me, it can do it for you. So stay connected, stay accountable, and your life will never remain the same. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. What a testimony. And we are grateful to God for the impact over the years, and thousands of boys have been transformed by this great work. And it will keep being or going from one testimony to the other. Thank you so much for that wonderful testimony. All right, we are going to go right now and listen to the profile of our speaker, Coach Wendy. I know she's ready today for IBC 2025, and it's going to be a life-transforming experience. We are super glad to have Coach Wendy join us again this year. We don't take it for granted, and we know we're going to have a great time together. Please, let's take the profile of Coach Wendy Ologe.
Wendy Ologe is the foremost parent coach in Africa.
who believes that her calling to parents will change the next generation of people in Africa. She is the founder of the Intentional Parents Academy, a coaching outfit dedicated to equipping parents and intending parents to intentionally raise their children positively, especially in the
Wendy Ologe, a leading force in transformative parenting. Wendy Ologe stands as Africa's foremost parent coach, passionately driven by the belief that her influence on parents can shape the next generation on the continent. She is the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. The Intentional Parent Academy strives to equip parents with the comprehensive tools needed to nurture exceptional children, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically. She is also a prolific author of best-selling parenting books, including Connect to Correct, Raising an Independent Thinking Child, The Discipline That Works, and 15 others. Her publications, available both in Nigeria and on Amazon, have collectively sold over 500,000 copies worldwide. Wendy made history as the first African and Nigerian to sit on the board of the International Day of Calm. Beyond parenting, Wendy exercises her gifts of prophecy, perspective, and problem solving through the Masterpiece Mentorship Program for Women. In her dynamic life, Wendy seamlessly manages her role as an influential figure and business leader. She is happily married to Mr. Kunle Ologe. IBC 2025. Let's make welcome Wendy Ologe.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So while we wait for Coach Wendy, she's just about to join. We want to welcome everyone joining us. Please again share this link with every parent around you and let them know that we are ready and we are set to have a great time today. So Coach Wendy will be speaking on raising the boy you don't need to bail out. And this is something very crucial for parents in our time because of what we are seeing. A lot of irresponsibility and going on. All right, we've seen the recent drama going on all over the country after this major exam was written. And we are seeing as our topic is the reformed boy. For us to raise boys that are reformed, we must be able to raise boys who are independent thinking, who are able to take initiative, who are able to build, who are able to become who God has called them to be as kings and move in that direction. I know Coach Wendy is going to do justice to this topic. I was reading her book, on this same topic, and I was really blown away seeing all that is happening in the world with our boys. All right, what is going on? And I had a funny experience recently of a boy who could not just, he said, I can't walk, sir. Just taking 2-kilometer walk to the junction, and I was just marveled at at the kind of children we are producing in our time. And there's no way we're going to take the world if we are not independent, if we're not able to take initiatives. And that's why yesterday we were talking to the kings about kingship. We are saying that kingship is first about alignment, aligning with your value, aligning with your understanding, alignment. If you don't believe it, then you can't become it. It's first start from you believing it and then begin to live in the reality of this. It can be overwhelming, especially what's happening around the world. But that mindset, that kind of child that we need, we must be able to build it. We must be able to raise them, not just raising them for our bedroom or for our home, but raising them to take the world. I saw something today that somebody was saying, I'm raising my children where the world, and I'm asking myself, is the world ready for the people that are coming? Not the other way around, where we are asking, our children ready to take over the world? We should raise children to the point where we are asking, is the world really ready for them? Is the world ready for the kind of army that is coming? That really changed my mindset. So it's not about, are you raising children that are ready for the world? For me now, I'm raising children that the world, I will be asking the world, are they ready for the crop of people that are coming. Okay. And that's what Coach Wendy is going to be dwelling on today in Reformation. Coach, what's the expectation of today's session?
Yes, Coach Wendy is that person you will never get tired of hearing. Every single encounter with her comes fresh, comes new, comes ready for you to take action. You know, thinking about the boy you don't need to bail out. I'm just thinking in my head, the son that you bail out, the result of the son that you bail out is that child you don't wish to have. And the result of the son you discipline is that child everybody, prepared and unprepared, wishes to have. And you know, it's so amazing to know that you're not raising your son for yourself. Your son is somebody's husband in the making. Your son is somebody's boss in the making. Your son is somebody's community leader in the making. Your son is somebody's pastor in the making. Your son is somebody's father in the making. Your son is somebody's father-in-law in the making. So it will be very unfair to just raise your son with how small our minds are. Oh no, I don't want anything to happen to my son. Can you think of the big picture of that man that you are raising? So that's what Coach Wendy will be coming to talk about. She'll be giving us principles, strategies to raise this boy. The truth about the conversation is that it will touch you in a place you might not like.
Absolutely.
Right? Coach Wendy will bust some bubbles. She will break some tables. She will shatter some chairs. She's going to do that. But get comfortable with being uncomfortable with what will help your son. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable with what you're going to hear, but it will really, really do justice to answering the many questions in our hearts. Yes, our mother, our mentor, the very person, the only person that is able to do justice to this topic is right here. It is our pleasure to listen to her. Let me tell you, me too, I want to listen to her. And we are so excited to have you. To the world, this is not just Coach Wendy, she's our mother. She's our mentor. And it's such a blessing to have Coach Wendy join us right here. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you for coming again to IBC 2025. 7 years down the road, Coach Wendy has never missed a year. And we are so excited to have you here again, ma'am.
Thank you, Mama. You're welcome to IBC 2025. And we are ready. We are ready. We are ready.
We'll be all right.
We'll be very all right.
Shout out to you, Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth. Amazing, amazing. Thank you again for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here again. So I am not late. For those of you who will think that I came here just strolling in, I don't stroll in. I was here at exactly 3 o'clock. The admin of Voice Leadership, I tell them that I have a memo for them. They gave me a wrong link, and I've been in there. And whoever sent that link, you have a memo waiting for you. I'm coming.
They will be dragged. They will be dragged
for 20 minutes, and it's not looking like I'm late. Please, I'm not of them that come late. I was there 10 minutes before time, and I needed to make sure that I say this on stream. Thank you again, yes, Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth. It's been an awesome day. There have been different conversations. My 4th conversation today on the International Day of the Boy Child. I told Ruth earlier on this morning that today we're going to be making some full noise because every time that we talk about the boys and we talk about it, as if we all go silent. There's this thing that just happens to us and everybody's just quiet about it. Why are we all quiet? Why is everywhere not catching fire? And I want to say thank you to the both of you for carrying this mantle for such a long time without getting tired. So today I have been given the topic, the kingmaker raising the boy you don't need to bail out. This is a topic I love. I love it because there's a lot of bailout happening. I have a book called Raising the Boy You Don't Need to Bail Out, by the way. Anyways, but let's get into the building. And if your son has not been at the International Boys Conference 2025, you have done them a disservice. My son have been opportune to sit under this, conversation in this period, even though he's in boarding school. That's God's way of helping me. You don't know that I'm helped. All right? If you can see me, you can hear me. Let me see you right in the comment section. I see all of you, Yadas. Shout out to you. Today, I'm going to just be sharing with you simple terms. What are the 5 ways to parent your son so that you don't have to bail him out later on in life? Like I often say, if you do not do the time now, you will do the time later. Either way, you will do the time. You will pay the price. I see you, Coach Omolola. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining me. So today, I want to assume that I have been introduced before I say I need no introduction. But if you argue with me, you're on your own. You want to find me, go online and find Wendy Ologie, and it will tell you everything you need to know about me. So this morning, I was having a conversation with someone, and I was talking about, raising the boys. And the person said to me, so now we now have boys that can't really actually take up the mantle. And I was like, is it the boys' fault? Oh, they were like, oh no. It's also the society that we live in. It's okay for us to blame the society. But no matter how long or how far you blame the society to, trust me, you're never going to actually have results. So earlier on today again, I was having a conversation with Ruth on International Day of the Boy Child, and she said something. She said, fathers are absent, mothers are overparenting. And that's a word I want you to take to heart, because what I'm about to share with you, it's all revolving around there. Most of our fathers are not here. Most of our mothers are overparenting, because the mantle to actually give what I call the instructional order is not given to you. You don't know how to use it. Even when you access it, you cannot use it. And that's why overparenting of the male child becomes a thing. When I was writing my book, Raising the Boy You Don't Need to Bail Out, the perpetuators of bailout system are the mothers. Growing up, our brothers were bailed out. We were taught how to bail out our brothers. We watched our mothers bail out our fathers. No, leave him. He will not pray. It's not really, he's tired, so he can't join us to pray. That's bailout. We watch our mothers, socialize us to bail out our brothers. Oh, the boy he's just a boy. He can't really cook. Go and help him and cook for your brother. And then we started to, bail out our brothers. When we were done, we got married to boys, men who were bailed out of accountability. In our time, a girl was told to come home at 6. A boy had no timing, so there was no accountability. We are asking men who were not taught accountability to give accountability. I've never been able to understand it. We have men who were raised to be unaccountable. How do you want them to become accountable all of a sudden? So today, we are now left with men who are completely not accountable, and we are also still bailing them out. Just living, he cannot attend the class. So I would have to do it. So the father is still being bailed out. And then we have now taken it a notch further. We are now bailing out our sons. You are now bailing out. So we are programmed to bail out. Mothers are programmed to bail out. So if you're not intentional and you're not learning as a mother, you will bail out your sons and bail out your husbands, because nurturing gives you that, nurturing is a base for bailout. Go to the JAM Center that was written this year. You find out that all of the people who were there were 99% women who were waiting on their children, not men. I saw videos. I saw clips. Women. Why? Because we do not understand what it is. We don't have the right tools to actually do what it is that we're supposed to do. So we're now stuck. And then we are handing over this bailout and we're bailing out ourselves. Just leave him. He's a boy. I still need to take him, give him a bath. Boys don't really know how to do it. And then we're continuing the process. When we're done, we will hand over the bailout system to our daughters. But I tell you, you can actually become that person who stops some of the normalized nonsense in a generation. I see you fathers. I see you, Mr. Sonny. Right? The other fathers, I hear you guys. You guys are a different crop of fathers. We're not talking about you guys, right? And we are now in the place where we are now, there's a whole lot of, struggle. But if you can understand how you can raise a boy that you don't need to bail out, then this is the start of your journey. My God calls you the kingmaker. The kingmaker is that parent who can make a king. You want to ask yourself, what does it take to make a king? The Bible says that ye are gods, and ye are the children of the Most High. What does it mean to be a God? It means that you have been given a mantle to actually raise yet another God. If you are listening to me, you do not have a father who is here that you know, call them. Let them come. This session is actually for them. If you're a mother, please listen very carefully. Overparenting can set your children to disaster. You're not doing them any good. So the next time you think of how you're going to baby your 26-year-old and ensure that they sit in the house, and I usually jokingly say, how do you feed a 26-year-old in this Tinubu's economy? Like, really? I can't feed an adult. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot give an adult. Why? Why shouldn't you go out there to hustle about it? Now, number one thing that you want to teach your child, 5 ways that your son, so that you parent your son, so that you don't have to bail him out later on in life. Number 1 is teach him emotional intelligence early. And when I talk about emotional intelligence, I'm talking about in the class of self-control, in the class of expression of healthy ways of emotional, system. The percentage of boys to girls who lack self-control is higher. It's natural because the boy naturally have issues with self-control. So it's not a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when you can't train it. It's just like when we say that girls battle with a lot of self-esteem issues. It's not a bad thing. It is that if you are not able to sit and actually look at the girl's self-esteem and, build it, it becomes a bad thing, right? So self-control is a core. I hear us talk about, sex conversations for our boys. There is no sex conversation without self-control. Because what is sex conversation for a male? It is that you can actually see something and that you can control yourself. That's basically what it is. And that's what we're talking about. So you want to teach your sons that emotion control is power. The Bible says that the man who is able to control his emotion is bigger and greater than the man who is able to lift up a gate. So it's not the strength. It's not the strength. It is actually in your ability to control yourself. So that's why we have raised men who men really have anger issues. What does that mean? They are uncultured. That's why we actually have that level of, not this thing. So stop doing suppression. Don't silence them to dominate relationships. A boy who can regulate his feelings won't use rage. Neither will he use withdrawal. Neither will he silence to dominate relationships. Please, let us teach them emotional regulation. Number 2, stop excusing bad behavior because he's a boy. Boys will be boys. It's not a parenting strategy. Hold your sons accountable. I have a son. He's 15. Hold your sons accountable. Stop excusing bad behavior. Teach him to clean up after his mess. Literally and figuratively. A boy who learns responsibility early becomes a man who takes ownership, not the one who will be covering up. You will be covering up for later. Most of our brothers now were trying to do a lot of cover up. The boy does something, you say no. Boys will be boys. Let's not just do. You know what happened to Eli? I was sharing about Eli this morning. The problem with Eli wasn't that Eli actually raised people badly. Eli just didn't take responsibility. And what God frowned at was the part that Eli did not take responsibility. And that's why when parents come up and say things like, oh, you don't know how your parenting will turn out, so don't always say those things. If you don't know where your parenting is going, You don't know how your son will turn out. As that today, you're on the wrong lane. I said it. Put my name on it. You are on the wrong lane. I tell you something. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he grows up, he won't depart from it. Are you making God a liar? Now, fear. Anything you're scared of is a signal of what you do not understand. Fear wears, a lot of many hats. Hesitation, disguise, avoidance, over spiritualization. Your son does something, and then your son just, hey, it must be the evil spirit. It's not evil spirit. It is you. It is you. And I made a post recently, and I said that child was a product of messy parenting. It didn't go down well with a lot of people. But I dare say to you today, anything that happens to your child, you're responsible. You don't want to be held accountable or judged. This is not a class for you. You see parenting? Man will judge us. God will judge us. If it doesn't scare you that you're a parent, wake up from your slumber. Come closer. Let me tell you. You will be judged. Eli raised adult children, yeah? Eli. And these children were stealing, were doing anything. God did not say, you have tried your part. You have done your part the way we say it. You have really done well. What will be, will be. God is going to do it and all of that. It's not your fault. God killed him. Because Eli excused himself from accountability. So the next time you think about it and say, anything that happens to my child, I've tried my best. Hello. You are telling God that he's stupid. God gives you a child in trust and you decide that, oh no, you can do it however you like. When you are bolder, when you understand you are empowered, when you have clarity, you are confident. So don't tell me that you don't know where your son is going to end up. I know with exactitude where my son will end up at 26, at 30, at 35. What are you saying? According to my children, what are you even saying? That you don't know where your child is going? Then there's a problem. The Bible says, train up a child. Train up. That means you know the end. God has already said, I know the end. When you do what it is that you're supposed to do. Why would somebody wake up and say they know the end of their parenting? You are so triggered. It's because there's something wrong. Why are you so afraid of parenting? Because you don't know how it works. Because you haven't learned it. Because you assume it's automatic. And what still, you assume there's a mystery behind parenting. There's no mystery anywhere. You can't sow corn and reap yam. Parenting is seed time and harvest. That's what parenting is. You want to sow corn and reap yam. That's the problem. You want to do nothing and then your child just becomes whatever. You want to just decide to just be whoever, and then anything that will happen, whatever will be, will be. That's where you missed it. Let's bring it home. You are actually afraid of parenting because you haven't learned parenting. That's why you say things like, you don't know how your parenting will turn out. Don't say those things. Don't be too prideful. That's the latest one. Oh, just pray and hope for the best. Children will change when they grow. These are not truths. They are lies of the devils. But still, they are coping mechanisms that are rooted in fear and lack of knowledge. Imagine going into surgery as a medical trainer. You will be terrified now. Rightfully so. Because you don't know how to do it. It's not because surgery is impossible. It's not because surgery is impossible, but because you don't have the tools and the skills to handle it. That's how many people are parenting. No training, no learning. Of course, you will be scared. And fear leads to two things: control and neglect. Control and neglect. You micromanage your children because you don't know how to influence them. You're constantly, no, let me follow them to JAM so that they will not fail. Somebody tells me that they needed to follow them to JAM lessons, so that JAM is so that when something is wrong, they will help the child to now solve it. And you say you have raised the son. Come on now. So your child cannot solve problems. That's what you're saying. But the outcomes are not random. They are seeded. If you plant corn, you will harvest. You will not harvest yam. Parenting works by principles. It works by principle. And when you master the principles, you reduce the fear. Yes, your child has a will. Yes, your child will grow, make mistakes, make their decisions. But when you sow consistently, you sow intentionally and consciously, you will reap a fruit that is so high. God is not unjust. He will not allow intentional sowing to produce accidental rearing. That's what you're saying when you say, I don't know where it will end. Because many of us don't know this. You know why? We've not studied the land you're planting. Who is the land? The child. You haven't learned, you have not invested in understanding that land. So you are left at the mercy of fear. Because the more you know, the less you fear. God didn't give you a child so that you can just hope for the best. He gave you a child so that you can steward them, so that you can guide them, so that you can shape them, so that you can lead them. And the tools to do that are available only if you seek it. Knowledge is available. The question is, when you are ready to stop parenting blind, you will see knowledge. You will see it in tangible terms. And now, when God judged the entire family of Eli, what it's saying is that when you excuse or ignore your child's harmful behavior, you're not protecting him. You are setting him up for destruction. A boy who learns accountability early becomes the man who takes responsibility later on in life, not the one who will cover up for adulthood. There was another story. Adonijah, David's son. Adonijah declared himself king without permission. He was trying to take the throne behind David's back. The Bible says that the father had never rebuked him by saying, why did you behave as you do? 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 6. David was a great king, a great man, but he failed. He failed as a father. He never corrected Adonijah. The result, Adonijah grew up entitled, conscious, reckless. The boy who was never challenged will grow up into the man who crosses boundaries because he never learns to respect them. Accountability is not cruelty. It's parenting with the future in mind. Somebody help me write that. Accountability is not cruelty. It is parenting with the future in mind. Hold your sons accountable. Hold them accountable. Stop excusing them for bad behavior. Number 3, raise him to serve, not to rule. Don't raise a boy who believes that the world revolves around him. Teach him humility. Teach him empathy. Teach him respect. Service is taught. So Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth are my son's mentor. As soon as he comes, I call my son a trained servant. That's what we call our children. You know you are a trained servant. So every time for our children, we say, our trained servants are here. Coach Ebuka, do you need a servant in this period? It's something that is, our children understand servanthood. There is no leader without learning servanthood. That's why we are now seeing a lot of boys get into marriage and become Lord and Master. The Bible gives example of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was washing the feet of the disciples. That's the example of leadership that we have of Jesus Christ. That's the example. But now, what we see now is they are serving your son at home. A house help will serve him, give him food, give him water, bathe him, bring out his clothes. Well done. And somewhere in your head, you actually think, I'm raising this my boy very well. Your boy cannot serve nobody. Your boy can't serve anybody. He doesn't understand service. You are raising a child who will be entitled. A child who is entitled at 10 will be arrogant at 21. A child who is entitled at 10 will become arrogant at 21. When you look at the story of, was it Rehoboam? Yes, Rehoboam. That was Solomon's son. In 1 Kings 12:1-16, when he became king, the people begged him for lighter burdens. He ignored the wise counsel of the older men. He listened to his fellow young men instead. He said, my father disciplined you with waves, I will discipline you with scorpions. He wanted to rule, not to serve. He believed leadership was about dominance, not responsibility. What happened? That boy raised to flex power ended up splitting the kingdom. Boys, when you raise boys to flex power, they grow into men who break what they were supposed to build. Raise your son to lead with humility. Service is at the heart of everything leadership, not pride, not position. Not position. So if you're going to raise a child, you will not need to bail out. Don't raise an entitled son. And I'll give you a very simple example of raising an entitled child. I remember when our children were going to go to secondary school, people told me that, oh no, you cannot, all this noise you're making. Every boy who goes to, in fact, especially boys, once they go to boarding school, they will lose everything. You will buy everything. I said, that's a mark, that's a height of irresponsibility. I remember saying it online. Somebody said, when you reach your turn, don't worry. All this noise, coach, experience will teach you. When they tell you those things, they are trying to kill you. They're going to kill you. I said to them, it's even a challenge to me. I will go back. Malton and I went back, crafted the whole curriculum and standard. When you want to actually change anybody, pass them through a curriculum. Curriculum colors your life. We passed our son, our daughter, through curriculum of understanding responsibility and accountability. Just one back home, first time, every single thing came back. I tell you what, did our children lose things? Our daughter did it. Our son lost his trouser. You know what? He found it. You know why he found it? Accountability, responsibility. He said, Mom, if I didn't find the trouser, I knew that you were not going to, you were not going to, you guys, my children would say, you guys were not going to buy another one. So I just knew what I was up against. I respected myself and I went to look for my trouser. But you have given your child the mentality that all things are made ready. You are, the El Shaddai. You can provide everything. So your son just goes to school, look around, and say, you know what? I can be careless with my thing. It doesn't really matter. Mommy, daddy will buy another one. And you know the worst of it all? Most of you will still beat the child, right? When they come back. You lost everything. You beat back. No lesson learned. Cane-wielding parents. No lesson learned. You're teaching nothing. These children went home, came back. So this is me announcing to you after you dragged me that my children didn't lose anything in boarding school. See, people say, is there a curriculum for parenting? There is a curriculum. There is a manual. Parenting, it's all those things you say online. Parenting has no manual. Nobody has it all. Nobody knows it all. Why is it that when the child, Samson, was going to be born, Manoah actually asked for a curriculum? The problem is that you haven't asked. Who creates a thing without a manual for it? You even call God a liar. There's a blueprint for every single human being created. The question you want to ask is, do you have the blueprint? So when you sit down and you say to yourself, parenting does not have a manual. No, there's no manual. You are parenting with a manual either by design or a default. Whether you know it or you don't, you have a manual you're following. So either the manual is there or it's not. There is a manual. Always. So there's a blueprint with everybody. Everybody comes. People say, oh, children come tabula rasa. Children come with what it is they're going to become imprinted. God has created a free human being who is supposed to be a Messiah, a savior in their own right. Your child is a God in their own right. And you say, no, there's no manual. So why did God say train up a child in the way he should go? That means every child has a way he should go. So what are we saying? What are we even saying? So you're saying that God has said these things. Doesn't know what he's saying. There's a manual. There's a way a child should go. The problem is that you are raising your child the way you think he should go. Or you are raising him the way your own brothers went. Or you are raising him the way you want him to go. They're not the same thing. There's a way a boy must go. You need to ask, you need to go to the manufacturer of a thing and ask the manufacturer of the thing, where is the way for this child? How many of us have asked? You are like Mrs. Manuel. When they told him he was going to have something, he was very well. You do a Shebi, you prepare for this thing, what's it called? Naming. You prepare for everything, you buy clothes, everything. You never go to the manufacturer of the child and say, who is this child? Who exactly is this child? You have never gone there. You're just on social media making noise. There is no manual anywhere. Parenting does not have a manual. Don't find your own manual. I have a parenting manual for my children. You choose not to have a manual. That's why I know where it's going to end. If there's a manual, you know where it's going to end. If there's a blueprint, you know where it's going to end. The problem is that you don't know because there's no system of where it is. The Bible says that the journey of a foolish man wearieth every single one of them because they do not know how to go to the city. There is a way. There is a way to the city. There are principles to parenting. You play against them, you fail at it. And it's not a curse, it is the truth. It is the truth. When you look at the story of Napoleon, I was reading about Napoleon. Napoleon was bold, brilliant, driven, but he was raised with a sense of superiority and destiny. You need to actually go and read the story. His obsession was with control, conquest, and power. Eventually turned the world against him. He crowned himself an emperor. He ruled much of Europe. He refused to listen, to serve, to slow down. You know the result? He went into exile twice. He went into isolation. The fall of a man who believed he was invincible. That's the result. You can raise a boy who is gifted, but if he's not grounded, his gift will destroy him. Let me say that again. You can raise a boy who is gifted, but if he's not grounded, his gift will destroy him. Raise boys who see leadership as service, not status. Not status. Our son gets it. You can't, because already he can see a servant leader in the house. And my husband is a servant leader. He serves everybody first. That's the first thing he does. Leadership is not because I am a man. That's not leadership. If you have to reiterate that you're a man in the house, then you have lost whatever it is that you're supposed to be giving us. Manhood is not an announcement, it's in responsibility, it's in modeling, it's in accountability. In accountability. Number 4, expose him to real life consequences. If he breaks it, let him fix it. If he lies, don't defend him. If he mistreats others, don't justify it. And love doesn't mean shielding your children from every discomfort. It means preparing them for the real world, where actions have consequences. Our son gets it. Our children understand that action has consequences. It's not by beating him. No, that's not the consequence of an action. Let me tell you what you do. A child is expelled from school. You beat the child, you go back to school and beg the child. That's not you teaching your children consequences. That's not what you're doing. You are actually bailing them out. Most times we bail our children out of their consequences, out of the consequences of their action. That's what we do. That's what we do. We don't allow them to face what it is that they should know. Let your children be able to understand real life consequences. Let them see how real life works. You see all these, my child is a star student, he's the best in the whole stream. When people say it, I laugh. We have a son that is the best in the whole stream. Please, it's not anything to brag about. We want to see a child who will fulfill destiny. That's your bragging right. And you're listening to me here, you came to learn how to make your son obey you, then you are wrong. Obedience is not the end game of parenting. The end game is raising a child who can fulfill destiny. That's our job. That's what God told us to do. Fulfillment of destiny. Listening to instruction is different from just obeying you. Most times, all you want is control. Sometimes, what you're hitting on is your ego, not on the child's well-being. So that's why when they are teaching you what to do, the first thing you submit to is that, oh, I will do it the way I want. I will do it. It's your ego. It's not about the child. How about what is good for the child? What are the real life consequences? Teach them. Our son was doing internship at the Boys Leadership Academy. Oh, by the way, he is in the Boys Leadership Academy. Your son is not there. You are wrong. I was teaching some class one time, and I said, if you do not have your son mentored and fathered, and when I mean fathered, I don't mean biological fathering. I mean fathered in any way it is that it comes. You don't have those two things, we have no business marrying you. Don't get angry. It is the truth. It is our choice. Fatherhood and mentorship is a key aspect of that journey. He was doing that, and he was in that space and was asking me. His mentor said that, oh, they've not closed. He was 5. Should he release him to come home? I said, no, why? He needs to stay until you guys are done. He was home by 8 p.m. Our son is 15. He came home alone. There's no lion anywhere. The only lion I know is a lion of the tribe of Judah. The problem is that you think that you have the ability to protect your child while God can parent the child for you. Parenting is your job, full time. God will never parent for you. Even David, the beloved of God, who was not parented by God, his children were not parented by God. God loved Eli. God didn't help Eli. God loved Samuel. Yet God did not help Samuel. Do you think so? Or you think that the people who fail is because God, God, no. God loved them. But parenting is not God's job. Parenting is, argue from here to tomorrow. Parenting is not God's job. It is your job. It is your job. Protection is God's job. The problem is that we want to swap roles with God. You think you can parent, you can protect a child. You think you can sit back and say, no, I will follow my child everywhere. There's insecurity. Well done. As if kidnappers cannot kidnap both you and your child. You do not have the ability. You don't have the ability to do some of the things that you're fighting to do. The ability you have is the one of parenting. And believe you me, it doesn't matter how much you pray. If you don't parent in the real sense of it, you will lose your child. Ask Eli, ask Samuel, ask David. These are men who prophesied. And I dare say, anointing doesn't even raise children. Anointing doesn't, they are anointed men. I have seen raise idiots. Forgive me for using that word, but it is the truth. So the fact that you are anointed or that you are good doesn't even give you, goodness in itself is not a skill. It's a Coach Ebuka that will say quietness is not the fruit of the spirit. Goodness in itself is not a skill. So all these, I just want to, our son went for all that internship. Our daughter was also doing internship. She got home. She went alone all through. She learned how to navigate. If I book a particular destiny is not looking somehow, you learn how to navigate. Our children learn how to navigate whatever circumstances because they understand that, see, this is my life before it is my parents' life. So we are guiding them. And I want to say, do not hear what I'm saying and say, oh, my child can do whatever it is that they need to do, and then you dump them and then let them just go and start rolling. No, there is a way. That's what we do in the Intentional Parents Academy. There is a way. We teach parents the way. That's what we do. There is a way. Our son has been cooking since he was 6. He can't cook for himself. I don't understand. Why will he sit? And then a girl will now say, let me come and be cooking for you. The next thing, the girl will now give him breast. I don't understand. You cannot cook for yourself. Cooking is a life skill. Why is cooking attached to, do they use reproductive organ to cook? It's hands that they use in cooking. The other day, my son was home alone. I was in the house and I was, it was me and him. And I was like, please, make sure you fix something for us to eat. I should go and cook when he's there. As who? I don't get it. You need to actually begin to raise your sons to become more accountable, to understand consequences of choices. When our son came back, I feel this my children will not allow. They don't agree. It doesn't exist in our home. We don't need to use a cane. We have never bought a cane in our lives. And yes, we have very responsible children, extremely responsible. I make bold to say it. And no, I'm not afraid that I can finish saying it today. Tomorrow, they will now become evil. No, I'm not. I know with exactitude where our parenting will end. With exactitude. And I'm not even joking. So I'm not afraid that when I now finish, they are now go and we have highly responsible children. If you have met our children, you will know that they are highly responsible. You don't need to use a cane. You don't build skills into a child. You train skills into a child. Most of the children you beat cannot go from here to here. The twins started traveling at age 10. Last year, it was Boys Leadership Academy camp. Our son packed up his bags himself, entered flight to Port Harcourt alone. Coach Ebuka is here. He went alone. He got to Port Harcourt alone. Lion did not carry him. People in battalion or whatever in Port Harcourt did not carry him. He went, he stayed, he came back on his own. There's no lion. He's still there. He's still alive. well and alive. You need to actually begin to look at the things that you're doing with your children and stop raising children that will give you issues later on in life. You keep bailing them today. So when you bail your son who is now 15, they can't go to camp. Your child is 10, they can't go. My children have been going to camp since they were 8 or 9. I couldn't wait for them to go to camp. My children cannot go to camp. Coach Ebuka has been hosting camp for how many years? Coach Etima has been hosting camp for how many years? Our both children go to camp every year. You want to shield them. You want to, and you're shielding them. Once more, you slap. All the slap you have slapped, what's the result? I can't see it. And that's why I'm totally against beating a child. I can't see the result. I can't see the result of your beating. I can't. Keep a child you're beating and keep the ones that were not beaten. The difference is so clear. The difference is so clear. So why do you think that this beating will produce results for you? There's no result anywhere. And that's the truth. If you want to raise a child who is accountable, you must actually ensure that you focus. When you look at the son of Absalom, David's son, Absalom murdered his brother, Ammon, for raping their sister, Tamar. It was a crime of vengeance. But instead of being held accountable, he lived in exile for 3 years. When he returned, David didn't confront him. He was brought back into the palace without any real consolation, no reflection, no consequence. What happened next? Absalom became very proud, very manipulative, very rebellious. He led a coup against his own father. And you're thinking, what is it? And then somebody will come out today and say, where did he get it wrong? David was a good man. He got it wrong in many ways. He led a coup against his father. He tried to steal the throne. He ended up dead in a battle, hanging by his hair in a tree. 2 Samuel 18:9-15. When boys are not allowed to face the weight of their actions, they grow up into men who believe that rules don't apply to them. I once told my son, my husband and I were sitting, I said, if they expel you from school, you do something, they suspend you, or they expel you, or you will do 1 full year. I will use it to teach lesson. I will use it to write book. I will use it to, and I'm not even going to school to pick you. You find your way from school back home. That's the first consequence. And then you will do 1 full year, trained servant. Oga Kuku don't have house there. You will clean 3 floors of house every single day. You will hear it. And my son said, Omo, I can't even dream of it. He was a complete, he said, but I knew that my parents can do it. We're not afraid. I'm not afraid of our children failing. I'm not afraid of them losing 1 year. I'm not afraid. That's why I will not pay anybody for WAEC result. I will not pay anybody for Miracle Center. I'm not afraid of you failing. It is not a big deal for me. I will come here and still teach you. Oh, my children failed 2 terms ago, and this is what we did. I will even write book and still collect your money. That's even the worst part. You will still pay. Now that's it. So does Coach Ebuka come to UK? Coach Ebuka is coming to the UK. Send your sons to camp. Send them out. Send them out. It's Coach Ebuka that will say that when other people were in the house dancing on TikTok, Davis was in the field. Why is your son not in the field? Your son is always at home, pressing PS4, pressing. Our children did 2 weeks when they came back from school. We insisted that they will go and do internship. You think it was all fun? You don't know that our children want to sit at home too. When you tell me, no, my children will not agree. Your children are different. They want to sit at home. My children also want to sit at home. My own is very comfortable. They want to sit there. But it is training. It's a training ground, not a joking ground. That's where we are. So they need to wake up. We had a meeting in the family hub. One of those days where our children were actually part of the family hub team. My team was looking at me, and when their children appeared for 7 a.m. meeting, why won't you come? Why do I want to exclude you? If you exclude your child or you excuse your child, you will extinct them. Never you exclude them, no excuse them. The moment you start doing that, your children will go extinct. And going extinct doesn't mean you're no longer alive. You will be there. You will be unknown, unseen, underground, on everything. Nobody will see you. Completely extinct. Completely. David loved Absalom. But he failed, by actually not withholding principles, right? And Cain chose the same thing that happened even when Cain killed somebody. God said, I will punish you. That's the difference. There was consequences for his action. Finally, model the kind of man you want him to be. Men, come closer. Come closer. Model the kind of man you want your child to be. He's watching. He's watching. Show him what respect looks like. Show him what boundaries feel like. When people say, oh, you can finish all these things that your children will now turn out to be okay. From where? How would they get it? Character is taught in silence. Character is taught in how you live. You don't teach character by putting up a blackboard. You don't. It is how you live. It is how you live. That is the character. That's the impact. When good men, you know the truth. You know, we always say, but the man is a good man. No, the children need to actually, these things happen. Goodness in itself is not a skill, I say again. Samuel was a prophet and a judge, a man deeply devoted to God. Yet, when it came to parenting his sons, things didn't go well. Samuel's sons did not follow his ways. That's what the Bible said. Samuel 8, 1 Samuel 8, 1-3. They turned aside after dishonored and accepted Christ, perverted justice. The same thing the children of Eli did. Go and read the Bible. Why do you think that pattern repeated itself? If you have a father, even though according to you turned out well, but you have a father who knows showed an example, you will repeat the same thing. That's what happened to Samuel. Yes, Samuel managed, came out. Maybe the mother helped and all that, but he couldn't see an example of fatherhood. Samuel ended up pattern. Devil loves pattern. Yeah. He loves it. So he perpetuated the pattern. Samuel never saw a good example of fatherhood himself. He was dedicated to God's work, but he didn't actively model it. He didn't enforce it. His sons grew up spoiled, corrupt. The same thing. Showing that, see, the greatest men can fail their children. And when I talk about modeling, you cannot parent in absenteeism. You can't parent in by proxy. I was privileged to actually go and see where Nelson Olisha Mandela, stayed for 21 years. I've been wondering why Nelson Mandela's children, we can't really match it. There's no legacy left. When I sat in that place for, that he started in 21 years, in Cape Town, I said to myself, in Robben Island, no matter who you are, no matter what you have, if you are absent in the life of your children, you can't replicate it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So good intentions and spiritual status don't guarantee good parenting. It doesn't guarantee. Somebody said to me, so are you saying that anybody who now comes out has mixed with parenting? So when he called a particular man of God, I will leave the name out. That does it mean that the man failed in parenting? I smiled. The great Oran Robert had his children messed up. Does it mean that he's not a child of God? No. Does it mean that he's not a man of God? No, he is. You can't pray your way through parenting. No, you can't. You need to actively, it's an active service, very active service. You know that in the Bible, it was recorded that Athaliah was more wicked than Jezebel. Athaliah was the child of Jezebel. And this is a negative example. But you know why? Jezebel was at it. Go and read the Bible. It was modeling, mentoring. And it was there. See, the difference between Esther and Vashti was not that Esther was good and Vashti was bad. It's not true. Vashti just didn't have anybody to direct him. Esther had a father figure that helped him. That's the difference. That was the difference. Vashti was not a bad girl, in quotes. Because what the king was telling Vashti to do was actually wrong. But she just didn't have sense. So it is something that you must pay attention to. Eli was a godly man. His sons became corrupt, abusing his roles as priest. Eli failed. He failed, not because he was not a good man, but he didn't realize that parenting is active service. Goodness is not a skill. One of the things that I'll leave you with as I close is that there are 5 M's to raise a boy you don't need to bail out. Maturity. Teach him to take responsibility. Maturity is not age, it is action. Teach your son from age 0 to take responsibility. Let him see you Take responsibility. Number 2, manners. Let your children, let your son understand honor. A well-mannered boy will earn respect. He doesn't demand it. When you talk about manners, that's what happens. Number 3, teach them management. Management of self, management of time, management of emotions. Help him to manage his emotions and daily life. Boys who master self-control don't implode under pressure. Number 4, teach him meaningful work. Teach him that work is supposed to be done. Give him chores. Let him solve problems. Stop solving his problems for him. Stop going to school to fight for your sons. Somebody asked me, what's your opinion? I've never gone to school to fight any teacher or any child for an altercation between them and my children. Do you know what I do? We come back and we teach our children how to go back to school and handle it. How to go back to school. Is it that we have mental health problem, or is it that we have resilience problem? I leave you to answer that. Number 5, teach morals. Raise children with values, integrity, truth, honor, because that's what opened doors. I was listening to Coach Ebuka yesterday, where he was talking about where honor has taken him to. Honor will open doors that even your work cannot open for you. Character is what keeps your child in the room. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. Character is what will keep your child in the room. Finally, raise a son who understands that marriage is a covenant between him and the next person he's about to get into. Let him understand that it's partnership. Let him understand that it's not rescue mission. And raise girls that have sense. As I close, do not forget, it is not about whether you have you have done the right thing or have tried my best and all of that. You know how your parenting will turn out. You are accountable. God will destroy you if you are not accountable to parenting. May that not be our story. May that not be any of our story. But I beg you today as you leave, please stay accountable on your call as a parent. Parenting is a calling. Parenting is a covenant. Stay accountable. And you know the worst part? The parenting covenant does not answer to prayer. It answers to doings of the work. It answers to principles. If your part is not played, God is not committed. So it doesn't matter how much that you call God into it. Is your part played? Play your part today. Take responsibility. Be accountable. Anything that goes wrong in your parenting is you. Be accountable. Your children will make mistakes. Yes. When they make mistakes, don't buy shame. Begin to buy responsibility. Shame keeps you stuck. Responsibility makes you grow. Grow in it and give your children a better stance and a better system that you never had. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an honor to have you guys here. And this is why I say goodbye, because I know that the governor is also coming. My husband is coming next on the stream. So I'm sure you will be here. He will soon be in the stream. Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth, are you here? It will soon be in the stream, and we would continue in the Boys Leadership Academy conference. Tomorrow, there is a live conference for your boys. If your boys are not there, please bring them tomorrow. I will be there myself. If you want to meet me, you can come along. We'll be there to make noise. And congratulations again to you, Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth Ede. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be a blessing to your fold. Okay, so I guess that Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth are cut off. I don't know why though. I think their network. Coach Ebuka, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Coach Ebuka? Can you hear me, Coach Ebuka? Oh, okay. I guess that their network is a little bit, everywhere. I want to believe that they will be back soon and they will be able to actually take the conversation from here. While we wait for them, I know that this network can actually frustrate you at a time where you would need it the most. Yeah, while we're waiting, Coach Ebuka, can we hear you? Can we hear you? Coach Ruth. Okay. Please confirm in the comment section that you can hear them, because I can see that they are speaking and it looks like, I don't know where it's from. Confirm that you can hear them. Okay. We can't hear them. Yes, I thought as much. I thought as much. We cannot, they can't, the people on the stream cannot hear you. Probably there is a disconnect somewhere. And I don't know why the disconnect, but I think their network looks okay. Their network looks okay. Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth, you can't be heard. Nobody, we cannot hear you. Even the comment section is bearing me witness. We have a cloud of witness in the comment section. We can't hear you. I don't know why we can't hear you and what has happened, but I'm sure that will be fixed in no time. All right. And then we would also begin through the next session. But one of the things that you want to do, for those of you who are asking how their sons can be at the upcoming, they have camps that is coming up. My son goes. So yes, can we hear you now? Can we hear you now? Okay. All right. Not yet. All right. Not yet. We still cannot hear you. All right. So anyway, I was talking about camp. I'm sure that there's a number that you can call. You will see their numbers. Check my social media. I have tagged them as well.
Can we be heard now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, thank you very much.
We must be seen, be heard.
We must be heard. We must be heard. Why will you not be heard?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The world foremost parenting coach. We appreciate you every time you come with the bazooka.
With the bazooka. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
Oh
profound,
my God.
Profound.
Thank you so much, Mama, for this session. Like, my mouth was just open. Oh. Like, I'm like, what am I hearing? What am I hearing? You don't beat kingship into a child. I saw the way some people were dragging my mother online because she say you don't beat kingship. I don't beat my children. They say they're beating their children. We've told them to buy 10 rod. All right. So that they can. And also use that scripture that said, when a child is stubborn, take him to the elders of the law. Let them stone him to death.
Stone him to death.
We need to stone him to death. Oh my God. Thank you so much. This was profound. So much to learn. We are grateful for the time. And more again at the live event, we are going to continue from there. This is the parenting coach of the world, the Indaboski, the fire, coming with the bazooka. Oh my God. I was writing. I'm like, God, what is this? Thank you so much, ma, for being a blessing. This is our 6th International Boys Conference, and you've always been there, giving it to us back to back. God bless you, ma. We are grateful.
We are grateful.
And we're going to proceed to the governor, my daddy. Thank you so much, ma.
We have not seen
my daddy is here alive. And my daddy is here alive. Please tell your daddies that it's time for them to join.
It's time for daddies.
All daddies, your hour has come. Mommies that are here, you can hear in the background, but make sure your dad or your husband is there.
Or their father
or their father figure. Even if the father is not around, if he's in Canada, send him the link now. Let's double this number and get them. Thank you so much, ma. We deeply appreciate you. So just quickly take the profile of my own father and mentor. The man I honor so much. The man I respect so much. Like father, like son. You can see me thriving like my daddy.
Kunle Ologe is a marriage counselor, business mentor, and the founder of the Marriage Seal Academy. He is a deacon in the Living Faith Church and also in Drama Minister. He is the convener of the annual Couples Rejuvenation Program, Couples Conclave, which runs from January to November every year with hundreds of couples in attendance. The Academy has several other programs like the premarital counseling program called Before You Say I Do, the singles program Becoming Mr. and Mrs., and the couples program Marriage Basics, among others. He has written over 12 books on marriage which have turned around the story of many marriages today. He runs the Kunle Oluge Business Mentorship Program, where he mentors startups, established businesses, and even individuals on how to better structure and become more profitable in their endeavors. Kunle Oluge is a seasoned banker and he worked in the Nigerian banking sector for over 18 years, where he was a branch manager for over 6 years in Zenith Bank PLC before voluntarily retiring to face his career in marriage counseling and business mentorship in 2023. He is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators in the United Kingdom, Nigerian Institute of Management, and the Chartered Institute of Loan and Risk Management of Nigeria. He is married to his beautiful wife, Mrs. Wendy Oluge, and they are blessed with 2 lovely children.
Thank you so much. And that's my daddy, my mentor, my father, like son. That is where I got this. My people say, "Why are you so handsome?" That is from my dad. Thank you so much for having, for joining us here, sir. We don't take this for
Thank you
granted.
so much,
All
Daddy,
right.
for coming.
Please let's share link with all our daddies and make sure they are part of this session. You have the floor, sir.
All right, good evening and good evening and good evening again to you. I hope you can hear me. Can someone please confirm that you can actually hear me? I'll be looking out in the comment section to see if you can hear me. Any confirmation? Can you hear me? All right. Okay, great. So I can be heard. So I'm so happy to be here. My name is Kunle Oluge, and I'm here at the instance of Ebuka and Ruth at this year's International Boys Conference. And I must say that I am proud, fully, completely proud, wholly proud of these 2 individuals that have come together as husband and wife and decided to pursue one purpose, and that is to make boys men. That's my own definition of what they do. They are turning boys into real men, not men with muscles. Not muscle is just part of being a man. It's a little bit. I'm talking about men that can stand at the gates against the enemy, because the enemies in this time are increasing every single year. The enemies to your children, the enemies to yourself, the enemies to your life, the enemies to your ministry. And this is why it is so important to have people like this who can help our children. And so, Ebuka and Ruth, you know I'm always proud of you. You know I love you, and you know that this thing that you are doing is changing lives and will continue to change lives by the grace of God. So let's kick right in, because we don't have so much time, and I just made sure that I was here today. Every other thing I had, I canceled it. So if you are here right now, you can hear me, and you are a wife, where is your husband? Because I was told to talk to husbands, to talk to the fathers. So where are your husbands? If your husband is not listening, please send this link immediately to your husband and tell him to come. Let us have a conversation as men. And I see many of you in the comment section greeting me, and I greet all of you. I greet you. Today, we're talking about fathers, and the theme that I'm talking on is like father, like son. Like father, like son. You know, it's a privilege to be a father, and I'm one, so I know it is a privilege. You need to see how many people are looking for fatherhood. Somebody to call them daddy. Somebody to call them my father. And those people are not, they don't have children. That's why the Bible says children and heritage from the Lord. The fruit of the womb is his reward. So it's a reward. It's a privilege. And it's something you cannot take for granted. It's something you cannot take for granted. So I beg you, every father who is out there who is listening to me right now, look at those your children in the face and tell God, I thank you for making me a father. It's a big privilege. You don't know that it's a privilege because you got it on a platter of gold. So you just got married, you and your wife met, and you had children. And you think it's a privilege. God has given you his children to nurture. Remember that children are not yours. They are God's children. You are just a caretaker. And thank you very much, my beautiful wife, Wendy Ologe. She has done the job. You know, she's the parent coach. So I'm not here to teach you parenting. No. I'm here to just talk to the fathers man to man. She has already done the job. She has finished it. And if you didn't listen to her session, or your husband didn't listen to the session, or your wife didn't listen to the session, please, immediately after this, go back and listen. There is too much. And this started all the way from yesterday, yes? And, you know, we had Coach David, we had Ebuka and Ruth, and it's been a very big event. Today, let's talk to the fathers. Now, there was a particular day that I was driving. I think my son must have been like 12 that time. I think between 10 and 12. I can't remember exactly. My son is 15 now. I have a set of twins, a boy and a girl. So my son is 15 now. And, you know, like a proud father, I was driving the car and I just said, let me start telling this boy some things about cars. I know that he still has some time before he starts driving, but let me just tell him one or two things about cars, you know. So as I was driving, I think he was sitting beside me or behind me. No, I think he was behind me. So I said, so, you know, this right now that I'm holding is the steering, and this is how I turn from left to right. He said, I know. I said, okay, so if I want to, you know, turn left or turn right, I have to put on the trafficator, and this knob here puts on the trafficator. He said, I know. I said, okay, so you see this thing, this stick that I shift? This is how when I'm parked somewhere, I put it in a position. When I want to move, I need to move it out. It's called the gear lever. He said, I know. At this point in time, then I now said, okay, so there are pedals here. There are two major pedals. On a manual car, there are three. So on this automatic car, you have the brake and the accelerator. The one on the left is the accelerator. The one on the right is the brake. He said, I know. At that point in time, I was afraid. I was afraid because I knew what I did as a boy and how one of those days as a little boy, I must have probably been about 6 or thereabout. As a little boy, my dad's driver had driven the official car and left it running. It was a Peugeot 504. You remember Peugeot, right? For those of you who remember. So it was a Peugeot 504. And he had parked the car. It was still running. He had of course, he had engaged the handbrake, and he came out to drop something for my dad. And he left the door open. And I went into the car, and I just released the handbrake, and the car just started moving. It was moving backwards. And all I can remember is everybody shouting and running after the car. And, you know, eventually the man was able to jump into the car, press the brakes, and, you know, that was how a disaster was averted. Because I don't even know where I was rolling to. So what first came into my mind is, oh my God, this boy, I hope he's not going to go and do what I did. Because like father, like son. Like father, like son. Every boy models after his father. Every single boy models after his father. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you point out. A boy will do instead of do. He'll do what you do instead of doing what you say. Did you get that? A boy will watch and do instead of listen and do. You can tell your child, your son, especially your son, you can tell your son anything you want to tell him. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. If you do the same thing, your boy will do the same thing. A boy models after his father. Who you are is who your son is going to be. That's the way God ordained it. You know, your children are actually your children as a father. Your wife was just a crucible to carry the children. They're actually your seed. That's why the Bible says seed of Abraham, seed of Isaac, seed of Jacob. So your children are actually your seed. You planted the seed in the soil of the mother, and the mother carried that child for 9 months and gave birth to the child. But the child is primarily your child first. So the responsibility to make sure that that child comes out wholesome is yours first as a father, not the mother. The mother's job is just to help you. That's what God sent women to do. God sent women to help. Your wife is your helpmeet. She is to help you in everything, which means raising the child is your job. Your wife is just helping you. Cleaning the house is your job. Your wife is just helping you. Taking care of the baby is your job. Your wife is just helping you. Cooking is your job. Your wife is just helping you. So remember that a boy will model after the father. A boy will watch and do. He will not listen and do. He will watch and do. So the question is, what are you doing? What you are doing is more important in raising that child than what you are saying. What are you doing? As a marriage counselor, I counsel couples every day. In fact, I just jumped from one counseling session to start this particular session right now. So I counsel couples every single day. And one thing that you need to, or one thing that I've noticed while counseling couples, especially men, is when it comes to infidelity, 90% of the people or the men that I've spoken to that have been unfaithful to their wives, when I ask them this singular question, the answer is always the same. Did your father cheat on your mother? 90% of the time, the answer is yes. Yes. And that is very scary. Because what it means is that those children are doing what they are doing because of what their father did. They are doing what they are doing because of what their father did. So your children will model after you. Forget it. It doesn't matter what it is that your children will model after you. So let's understand who a father is. And that's part of my job here today, to tell you who a father is. Let's understand who a father is. Just 1 second. A father, to get the definition of a father, you need to first understand God, the Father. Did you hear what I said? To get the definition of what a father is, you first need to understand the Father. Now, God was the one who created us, and so we call him our Father. He made us in his image, so it means that we, and when I say we, I'm talking about the men, it means that we too are fathers. Please follow me. Follow me very carefully. We are going on a journey, and I don't want anybody to be lost on the way. So follow me. I said that God created us, and so we call him our Father. But God created us in his own image. So if he is a father, then we are a father, or we are fathers. So if he is the father, then me and you are fathers. So if you want to get the definition of a father, you need to go and look at what God is or who God is. If you want to get the definition of a father, you need to go and look at who God is. If you are able to know who God is, you'll be able to know who a father should be. Let's look at some of those attributes of God. Number one, God loves us unconditionally. God loves us unconditionally. Now, in the book of 1 John 3:1, it says, "Behold, what manner of love the Father had bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore, the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not." So the first part of it, what manner of love that the Father had bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. So God loves unconditionally. Ask yourself, who are you to be called God's son? Do you really deserve it? I can answer for you. No, you don't. But he called you his son. So God loves us unconditionally. Remember, I said if you want to define a father, you must look at what or who God is. So if God loves unconditionally, that means it doesn't matter what you did or what you are doing, he still loves you. Then as a father, you must love unconditionally. Doesn't matter what your son has done, what your son is doing, you will love him. You won't hate him. He's your son. Let's move on. God provides for our needs. That's another attribute of God. Number two, God as a father, he provides for our needs. Let's look at Philippians 4:19. It says, "But my God shall provide or shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus." So God supplies all our needs. I didn't say wants, I said needs. Because there are some things you want that are dangerous to you. Some of you want private jets, but God knows that if he gives it to you, you will carry women. So God supplies your needs first. It's not as if he doesn't supply wants, but that want has to be vetted. God supplies your needs. He provides for all your needs. That means you must provide for all the needs of your son. If God is the provider, then you must be a provider for your son. Number three, God guides us along life's journey. God guides us along life's journey. And what this means generally is found in Isaiah 58:11. And he says, "And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones. And thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not." Are you seeing what God does for us? Guides us continually. Never leaving our side. We are the only ones that leave God, though. God doesn't leave us. He is constant. He is there. We are the ones that stray off the path. God doesn't stray off the path. For those that are just joining us, we are looking at a journey on understanding who a father is. And we started by saying that God is the father, and he made us in his image, so we are fathers. And so to understand who you are as a father, you need to understand who God is as a father. And we have said that God loves unconditionally. We have said that God provides all our needs. Then now we are saying that God guides us along life's journey. It means that your son, you will guide him till you go to heaven. Did you hear what I said? Your son, you are going to guide him continuously until you, the father, goes to heaven. That's when you are released from that job of guidance. Because God doesn't stop guiding us all through our lives. And then the fourth one is that God is with us always and will never leave us nor forsake us. So besides just guiding us, He's with us. He's in us. He's around us. He's for us. Matthew 28:20, it says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. God is with us, doesn't leave us. God is with us. He's El Shaddai, all sufficient. He's Nisi, Jehovah Nisi, banner over us. Always. That's who God is. Are you with your son? Are you with him always? You don't need to be in the same space as your son for you to be with him always. You just need to have him here in your heart. God hears your heart. God hears your prayer. The prayer you pray for your son every day, the children that God has given you, the prayer you pray for them every day, God hears it. And God honors it as a father. That's why Jacob had to go and look for a way to scheme and get the blessing of his father, and schemed Esau out of it, because he understood that that blessing was very important. Every father carries that blessing for the child. Never open your mouth and curse your child, because that curse will stick. Did you hear what I said? Never open your mouth and curse your child as a father. That curse will stick on your child. Sometimes we use careless curses on our children and it follows them, and we're wondering what happened. Be careful. Make sure it's words of blessing that comes out of your mouth, not words of curse. So these are 4 strong attributes of God that help us to define who a father is. Now, I'm going to take you through something that I taught all through last year. So all through last year, every time I was teaching fathers, I taught this particular thing. And I'm bringing it here to this International Boys Conference 2025 Fathers Session. And it's called the Full Spectrum of Fatherhood. The Full Spectrum of Fatherhood. And I need you to follow me very carefully. So a spectrum is a series, right? From one end to another. That's a spectrum, like a spectrum of light. You know, light is in spectrum. So there's a spectrum of fatherhood where it starts and where it ends. And it starts from you being a man, then moving from being a man to a leader, then moving from being a leader to a husband, then moving from being a husband to a father, and then finally moving from being a father to an angel. So fathers, let's go on that journey. The full spectrum of fatherhood. Being a man. You know, I told you it starts from being a man. So being a man. Now, man is the first creation of God when it comes to humans. So man was created first. And man was designed to dominate the earth. That's what God designed man for. To dominate the earth. That's, you are supposed, nothing, the earth is not supposed to dominate you. We are supposed to dominate the earth. And man has dominated the earth. Have we not? Look at the sky. Are we not flying? We've dominated the sky. Look at land. Are we not moving? Cars, electric cars, trains, whatever it is, we are dominating. Look at the sea. Have we not dominated? All kinds of sea crafts, ships, submarines, all of that. We've dominated. So we've dominated sky, we've dominated land, we've dominated sea. But And man is the only one of all the animals that God created that dominated all three. There's no animal that dominates all three. It's only man. There's no animal that dominates the sky, the land, and the sea. I'm trying to point something out to you. What God made you. It's only man. In the sea, the sky, you can say the eagle is the king of the sky, but only the sky alone. If the eagle comes to the ground, it's finished. You can say the lion is the king of the ground, because where a lion is, it turns back for no one. You can say the shark is the king of the sea. But man is the king of the air, the land, and the sea. So, for you to be a man, you must dominate. And for you to dominate, you must be courageous. That's number one. So, you conquer fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to overcome fear. So, as a man, you must be courageous. As a man, you must be physically strong because you're not expected to be a jellyfish. You should be strong. God naturally gave you more strength, physical strength, than a woman. So if you are not exhibiting that physical strength, we should be asking you questions. So you must be strong. And then thirdly, as a man, you must not want to be a woman. That's a ridiculous thing that is happening in our society now. And that's the devil for you. Ear piercing, bonnet wearing, bomb shot wearing men. Men who plaiting hair, wearing earrings, putting nose ring. The other day I saw a gospel musician that I used to respect with nose ring, a man, and I said, come on, for God's sake, how far do you need to go? All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Why do you need to put a nose ring? What are you looking for? Is it not enough that you put a chain? But you need to go further. You need to put a nose ring. You even pierce your nose. Men are even now piercing their ears, not just one, but 2, 3, 4. What is it? Kilo day. So, not wanting to be a woman is a sign that you are a man. Not the one that they ask you and they don't know if you are a man or a man-woman or if you are a woman. Confusion everywhere. So that is what being a man is. So my first question to you, are you a man? So a man is not bold chest and just, carrying beard up and down. I've just helped you to define what a man is. A man is also taking responsibility. The ability to take responsibility for both your mistakes and your wins. Take responsibility. Stop looking for who to blame. That's a man. That's what makes a man. So from a man, the next part of the spectrum is being a leader. So you first need to be a man. Then you now move to be a leader. Because before you get anywhere further, you must first become a leader. There are some people that are not yet men. No? Yes, they have beards. They have a penis. But they're not men. Because they don't behave like men. They still behave like children, boys. So you need to first become a man. So ask yourself, that you are married and you have children doesn't mean you are a man. Because you are not behaving like a man. So ask yourself, am I a man? Then when you fulfill that condition, then you move to the next, being a leader. Remember, all of this is we're talking about like father, like son. So, and we have said that a son will model after the father. So we're trying to find out what a father should be like so that the son can model after the father. And that's why I'm taking you through this spectrum of fatherhood, so that you start checking it and asking, where am I failing in these things? So that I can start ticking it and start working on it. Because your son will follow what you do. Doesn't matter how much you pray about it, he'll follow you. He'll follow you. Right? So being a leader is the next step. And being a leader has these attributes. And please ask yourself the questions as we go through it. Ask yourself, do I have these attributes? Number one, it is having vision. Where are you going? I've had cause to talk to some men, both unmarried and married men. And when I ask them, what is your vision? And they start talking here and there, they're just everywhere. I just understand that this person is not yet a man. This person is just a boy. So you must have vision, a clear direction of where you want to go, because your vision is what your whole family will follow. So imagine a man that doesn't have a vision. Yeah, just anywhere goes. Anything that happens, you follow. Anyway the country pushes you, you move. That's a visionless person. So it is having a vision. Number 2, being a leader is taking responsibility. Don't blame others for things that you know are your fault. Take responsibility. There are some things that is even other people, but because you are the person in charge, you take responsibility. Take responsibility. That's what being a leader is. You know, I worked in the banking sector for 18 years, like you heard there in my profile. And I rose up to be a branch manager. And for 6 years, I was a branch manager before I voluntarily retired to face marriage counseling full time. And for those 6 years that I was branch manager, my MD in Lagos never had any other person's number in my branch apart from my own. Because as far as he's concerned, if anything happens in the branch, he's not going to call my head of operations, my cash officer, my funds transfer head, my customer service head. He's not going to call all those people, or my security head. He's not going to call all those people. He will call me straight. Kunle Ologe, what is happening in your branch? Because I am the head, so I'm supposed to be responsible. So I take responsibility. What it means is that even if my people do the wrong thing, I can't go and be telling them, oh, it was my cash officer that did it. No. I can only say I take responsibility for what happened in my branch and will correct it. So, do you take responsibility? Or are you fond of blaming your wife and your children for things? There are some things you know that is you. You have all these years, you've blamed your wife and you've blamed your children for that thing. But you know that is actually you. Number 3, it is having effective communication. Having effective communication. Look, communication is a very important part of life. And if you don't understand how to communicate, you will mess up your marriage, your parenting, even your work life. So communication is so important, and as a leader, you must know how to communicate. Shouting is not communication. When you shout down your spouse or shout down your children, that's not communication. You are not communicating. Communicating is talking to the person in a way that the person will understand you. You're not shouting down at the person and trying to make the person cow. That's not communication. I have a book that is coming out titled What Your Spouse Is Not Telling You. That book talks about communication in marriage. That's how important communication is. One book from beginning to the end talking about communication in marriage. So you must be an effective communicator. The next one is that you must have influence. You must have influence. Let me say something about influence. Do you know how you know you have influence? When you don't need to shout, you don't need to beat your child, you don't need to do anything, but when you just say, your child does, you have influence. That's influence. If you need to shake your whole body and the whole house is falling down, if you need to do that for anybody to do what they're supposed to do in your house, you don't have influence. So you don't have influence. So you must have influence, making people do the things you want them to do without cajoling them. That's influence. The next one is that you must be a people builder. If you really want to be a leader, then you must be a people builder. What this means is that you are always trying to see how other people that are coming under you can become like you and even better than you. That's a people builder. So building people. And of course, you start from your children. Are you building your children? Who are you building them to be? The things you've learned in life, have you taught your children? Or you just think that you just want to give your children a good life, enjoyable, fun life according to you? You can change tire, your son can't change tire. You can repair tap, your son can't repair tap. You can change gas, your son can't change gas. You can put on generator, your son can't put on generator. Sir, what are you doing? Who do you think you are raising? You are raising a girl, not a boy. Raise a boy. My son can do almost everything that I can do. In fact, when I'm fixing anything at home, nowadays, I've even reached a point where I don't fix things again. I just tell him, Ayo, go and fix that thing. And he goes and he does an excellent job because I taught him. I'm a people builder. Everywhere I go, I build people. I worked in the bank for 18 years. I built so much people that I'm the only branch manager that I know. I'm not saying the only branch manager, but the one that I know. I'm the only branch manager who resigned. And after his resignation, his staff used their own money, not bank money, used their own money to organize a send forth for him and brought him. In fact, that day when they brought my wife and I to the place and I looked at the setup, I had to call the most senior person there. I had already gone for about a month when they insisted I must come back for a send forth. When I looked around and I saw how much was spent, I had to call the most senior person and I asked him, I said, I hope you people didn't touch bank money to do this. So you don't get into trouble for this kind of thing. They said, no, we used our personal money. Everyone contributed, including the cleaner. When I heard it, tears were in my eyes. I knew that I must have influenced these people so much so that until today, all my staff, my former staff, this is how many years later, they still come to my office, come to my house to pay me homage, come and give me the updates of how they are progressing in the bank. I built people. Who are you building? Are you building your son? Be a people builder. Have that thing in you that you want your son to be like you. I mean the positive aspects of you, please. So you want your son to be like you and greater than you. The next one is that you need to have integrity. Have integrity. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Have integrity. Do the right thing always. That's integrity. Doing the right thing always. That's integrity. My father taught me this word some years ago, integrity. And he taught me. He was driving. And at that point in time, he was having a crisis in his life. That's another long story. And he asked me, he said, Kunle, I said, sir. He said, what is integrity? And I tried to start defining it and he just smiled. He said, integrity is doing the right thing consistently. I'll never forget that day. I still remember how I was sitting beside him, how he was driving and how he said it. Integrity is doing the right thing consistently. He was passing a message to me then because he was going through what he was going through because of his integrity, because he would not compromise, because he was straight. So he was being victimized. And I'm sure he wanted to tell me that, look, don't shake because you are being victimized. Let your integrity be intact. So, how much of integrity do you have? Remember, your children are watching. They will do what you do. If you steal from your office, they will steal from you. And they will steal from the government. They will steal from wherever it is that they are. If you are unfaithful with your work, they will be unfaithful with their own work. Your children, your sons, will model after you. Finally, under being a leader is be resilient. Be resilient. So you need to be able to do things and not give up. That's resilience. There are people that give up so easily. They just try something and they give up. In the office, my staff, whenever they try to give up, I'm always asking them, what? You've not done all. That you've done something does not mean that you have done all. Because if I bring somebody, in fact, I usually tell them, I say, if I bring somebody else, you'll be shocked that this thing you say you have tried and it's not working, the person will try it in another way and it will work. And when I say that, it prompts them, and truly they search for solution and they find. So giving up is a no-no. Don't give up. So that's being a leader. Remember, we are on the spectrum of fatherhood. We've said you have to be a man, you have to be a leader. Now you have to be a husband. We've not even yet reached fatherhood. You can see the journey. You must pass through this journey. And if you've already become a father and you didn't pass through this journey, please, you need to go back and repair the things that you didn't do well. That's the aim of this. So being a husband, and you know I'm a marriage counselor, so this part now is very exciting for me. So as a husband, it means that you must be a lover. That's one of the first hallmarks of a husband. You must be a lover. For God so loved the world that he gave. So the show that you are a lover, the proof that you are a lover is for you to give. So as a husband, you must give 3 major things. Who knows what those 3 things are? There are 3 major things you must give as a husband. Can I see it in the comment section? Does anybody want to try? Those 3 major things you must give as a lover. A husband who is a lover, to show love is by giving. We've established that. And I've said that there are 3 major things you need to give your wife. What are those 3 major things? Number 1, and the most important one, is you need to give your time. The greatest need of a woman is attention, not money. The greatest need is attention. So the first thing you need to give your time is, you need to give your wife is your time. Your time. The second thing you need to give your wife is your resources. That's where your money now comes in, That's the second thing. You need to give your wife your resources. All your resources belong to your wife. Don't fight it. You're the one who married her. She was in her father's house, doing very well. You went to the man and said, I can take care of your daughter the way you are taking care of her and even much more. The man released the woman to you. Now, it's a problem for you to give. You need to give your resources. Everything belongs to her. Let her enjoy it. It's her right as a wife to enjoy your resources. If your wife is not enjoying your resources, for God's sake, who will enjoy it? So you need to give your resources. The third thing is that you need to give your body. You need to give your body. Your body belongs to your wife. Just as her body belongs to you, your body belongs to her. Don't hide it away from her. Give it to her. Now, that's another topic entirely. Let's not go into that, okay? Because if we start now on the marriage thing, I'll go on and on. By the way, I have a YouTube channel. You can catch me there. Just look for the Marriage Seal Academy. If you look for the Marriage Seal Academy on YouTube, the Marriage Seal Academy by Kunle Ologe. You find me on YouTube. There are too many videos on marriage that you can learn from. We have courses. We have books. So there's a lot of marriage. That's what I do full time. So marriage is a lot. I can't cover it here, but let's just pick it when it comes to a husband. Let's read this beautiful part in Ephesians chapter 5, starting from verse 25. And I want you to listen. It says, husbands, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself, a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. When you love your wife, at the end of the day, you are presenting your wife to yourself. Did you follow that? The things you are loving your wife, the things you are doing for your wife is for your good at the end of the day. Because happy wife, happy home, happy man. Happy wife, happy home, happy man. So when you love your wife and you give her all these things, like Jesus cleansed the church with water, so you to cleanse your wife and spoil her with things, and she will come back to you as a glorious wife. That's what the Bible said. If you've never read this part of the Bible before, please go and read it. It may help you to treat your wife better. So being a husband is being a provider. It's being a protector. You must learn how to be a husband. It's not innate. Being a husband is not innate. What I mean is that you are not born as a husband. You are born as a man, yes. But you need to learn how to be a husband. I'm looking for a book of mine, yes. There's this book, Wife Manual, that I have. This book teaches men about women. It teaches you how to be a good husband. So get the book, Wife Manual. It will help you. It will transform your life as a man. Many men have read this book and have cried for their wives to ask them for forgiveness because they didn't understand. I have a whole chapter, for instance, on childbirth. That's from the conception to the birth to the postnatal. And if only you understand some of the things women go through, how women feel and all of that, you will treat your wives well. And it will help you. In case somebody is asking and saying, is it only men? There's the one for the women called Husband Manual. Okay, so this one is for women to read. But bottom line is that you must ensure you learn how to be a husband. It's not innate. Let's move very quickly. Time is going. So it is after you have successfully been a man, you've successfully been a leader, you've successfully been a husband, that is when you can start talking about being a father. Because to be a father means that you need to be a good man, you need to be a good leader, you need to be a good husband, you need to be a good guide. Because remember what we said, you will guide your son all the days of your own life. And that's why it is important for you to understand this spectrum. Because you can see that being a father is just a combination of all the things before. Being a man, being a leader, being a husband. If you can be three of these things very well, you will be a good father. You will be a good father. So you cannot play around being father. You can't just give birth to children and think that that's you being a father. No, that's you birthing a child. Yes, you can birth a child. That's okay. But that's all. Being a father is a job. It's a complete job. Now, finally, after being a father, you now move to the last part. But before that last part, you know that I'm sure my wife, dealt with this very well. But you know that as fathers, you know that God will never ask from any wife or any mother about a wayward child. Do you know that? Remember, I had said that the responsibility of parenting is first for the father. And if you look at the Bible, God never asked any woman for a wayward child. Look at Eli. Do you know who Mrs. Eli is? Did God ask Mrs. Eli for anything? No. He killed Eli. Look at Samuel. Thank God Samuel didn't die, but he punished him. Do you know the name of Samuel's wife? Because there was no need to mention her name. The father was there. Look at David. Look at Solomon. We can go on and on. All of them messed up in their parenting, and God punished them for messing up in their parenting. So please, being a father is more than just bringing out a child. Being a father means being there, taking responsibility. So a boy will model after the father. A girl is simple. A girl just needs your presence. So, do you know that? For a man, a girl just needs your presence. It doesn't need. She just needs, once you are there for the girl, when she calls you daddy, you answer yes. She's okay. Doesn't need so much from you, but just be there for her. A girl is a woman now. A woman needs attention, right? A girl, same thing, needs attention. Sometimes my daughter is cooking in the kitchen. She just tells me, come and just sit down here, daddy, don't go anywhere. I'm not helping her do anything. She just wants me to be there with her, and she'll be gisting, throwing gist, I'll be answering her. That's a girl. Very simple. But for a boy, you need to watch what you do, because that boy is watching you, and that boy will do exactly what it is that you do, even without knowing it. The final part of the spectrum is being an angel. Being an angel. Now, a time comes when your child goes out of the nest. When we say goes out of the nest, so you've launched the child. My wife has a book, Parenting Launch Plan. So all the things you need to do before your child turns 18, when your child will leave the house. That's the Parenting Launch Plan. So when your child hits 18, And it's expected normally when your child hits 18, your child leaves the house to go to university. Once your child leaves that house to go to university, that's all. Though. When I say that's all, I mean your influence on that child is no longer like how it used to be. It's a different kind of influence you have now. And that influence you're going to have is that of an angel. Now, what does it mean when I say being an angel? Number one, you will be a prayer warrior. You see, you will continue to pray for those children. That boy, you will pray for him. Once he leaves your house, you will continue to pray for him until you die and go to heaven. That's what being an angel is. Being an angel means you will continue to advise. Remember, you can no longer command. You've shifted from the realm of commanding to the realm of advising, because that boy has now become a man. So he has his own will, he has his own way, he has his own decisions to make. So don't try and interfere in everything. Your own job is to advise. So you are going to also advise from that time he leaves your house till he eventually, you go to heaven, not him, because you go before him. And then finally, you also be his helper. Because from time to time, he may fall. I say may, I didn't say he will. He may fall, and you are there to help him up, both financially, morally, and otherwise. You need to be an angel. If you are able to go through this spectrum of fatherhood, so you are able to be a man, be a leader, be a husband, and be a father, then be an angel, you would have created a model for your son to follow. Because as you are doing all these things, your son is following and your son is seeing. So you need to be a father, you need to be a man, you need to be a leader, you need to be a husband, you need to be a father, you need to be an angel. So this is where I'm wrapping up today. And I hope that this has helped somebody today to understand that your son will follow you. Your son will model after you. And not only after you, your son will model after every father figure you put around him. Which is why being in something like the Boys Leadership Academy is too important for your child. It will help you. The Boys Leadership Academy is a support for your parenting when it comes to the boys, because that leadership academy will hold your boys accountable for you. The places you cannot reach, they will reach there. My son is in the Boys Leadership Academy. I'm sure you heard my wife saying it earlier on. He's there. When he's around on holiday, he even goes to do internship there. Now he's old enough. He goes to do internship under Coach Ebuka and Coach Ruth. Because I know that I don't have all the tools. I can't raise him alone. I can't. If I want to raise an international man, a wholesome man, a man that God will look at and say, this is one of my generals, then I need a lot of help from here and there. That's what the Boys Leadership Academy does for you. And if you are listening to me, maybe you are invited here and you are a father listening to me, and your boy is not yet in this academy, please ensure that you get the details and then you register your boy. You think my wife and I take our parenting for granted? No, we don't. Our boy is in the Boys Leadership Academy by Ebuka and Ruth, and our girl is in the Girls Hub by Etima. Because we know that we want to build people that will stand at the gates and face the enemy. And that is why this International Boys Conference is so unique and so great. And I'm so happy that it's happening. I'm so happy to be part of it. God bless you all. And I hope to see you all tomorrow at the main event. Thank you, Ebuka and Ruth. I think you can take it over from here now. Okay, so we can't hear you yet. What or is it just from my own end? Someone should confirm if you can hear them. Sorry for the technical glitch. Is it just from my end, or is it everywhere?
Can you
Thank
hear?
you so much. Can you hear us now, sir? Okay. Thank you very much, our daddy, the governor,
That's my dad.
for releasing it in the way that is suiting for King Daddies.
My
Thank you
God.
so much. The spectrum of being a father. So beautiful to see, from the man to the leader to the husband to the father. I love the part of being an angel because I used to
telling
think
you.
only women are angel. I used to think the word angel is used alone
my
for
God.
women. And when he
No,
said
the
angel, I was
father,
like,
the father
oh,
is
really?
Archangel.
Okay.
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much, sir.
God.
This is really amazing. Be your son's helper.
Oh my God.
As your wife is helping you, you also be your son's helper. That was so really profound, sir.
That's my dad.
We know.
That's my dad. Like father, like son. And I've seen this thing play out in my own life. Just learning so much from you, sir. As a mentor, I've seen a lot. As in a lot.
A lot, too.
A lot. I did something one day. I said, hi, I know I got this thing from my dad.
Yes.
All right. I know my shoes. All right. A lot of men are not wanting to be a woman is a sign that you're a man. As in, that hits me really, really deep. Because there's a lot happening. So you wonder why a lot of our men are wanting to be like women. They are actually not men. All right. And I love the part of the angel. As in, I think I think our sons even need now beyond fathers. They need angels in their life. Because if this is done, a lot of the issues and things we are clamoring for will be sorted already in our son. I believe fathers have learned a lot today that will go and practice. So I've learned one that will tell you personally when I see you, sir.
There's something he said that also helped me to answer some of the questions of the boys. So our boys are also asking, so why can't I put on earrings?
Yeah.
What is wrong with me having to braid my hair? It's okay. Everybody's doing it. It doesn't make you. So he answered it when he said, you're not wanting to be a woman. It's a sign that you're a man. It's okay to love the way God has made you and stay that way. I think this is really profound for us, for you fathers, and for us boys coaches.
Thank you so much, sir. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
We can't wait
the
to see
physical
you.
event. I will know it's going to be a great time
We look
together.
forward.
We look forward
I can't
to
wait to
seeing
be there.
you.
Can't wait for the questions the
Yes.
boys will bombard you with.
As this,
We are there
especially
for
questions
them.
about their fathers. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining. We
Thank
love
you
you,
so
sir.
much, sir. We
And
love
God
you.
bless you.
Amen.
So parents
Thank
are coming
you.
back at 6 p.m. West African time for our boys. Mind-blowing session. Coach Rich is ready.
I'm
All
ready.
right, so Charlie is ready.
We're ready.
Please, every boy, we need at least 1,000 boy in the live stream. Share with every boy. And we are back again at 6 p.m. The boys also have their special Kings Awake tonight, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's a special IBC, all right, Kings Awake. And don't forget, if you have not given your son a gift, if you have not celebrated them today, we are in some schools and they say, I'm going to go home and tell my parents. Daddies, celebrate your sons today. It's their days. Worthy of the boy child, and let make them feel honored. If you are not in the Boys Academy, you are wrong.
You're wrong,
Follow us
bro.
on all our handles. Join Boys Leadership Academy. We have camps, we have training, we have about 15 books written for boys. Please join us and make this a life transforming experience for your sons.
Thank you so much, parents. So this is the International Boys Conference 2025 with the theme Reformation. I am sure you're now a reformed parent and a reformed daddy. Please get our sons ready to turn into reformed boys at the next session. Thank you so much. We will see you
in 45 minutes.
In 45 minutes. Get them ready.
Bye for now.